So we will see about Balban. I've already made videos on Razia Sultan and all, and in that video lecture I've talked I've said after Razia Sultan, the notable rulers was only Ghiyasuddin Balban. Okay, so we will see about the who was Balban. So he was the greatest ruler and of the slave dynasty and an extreme shrewd military chief. He was very important, and he was strict in his mindset, and he was showing sharp powers or judgment quality. So he was termed to be as master chief, and he belonged to the Ilbari tribe of a well-to-do Turk family. But unfortunately, he was captured by the Mongols and sold to Khwaj Jamaluddin Basri in Baghdad, and later brought to Delhi by Iltutmish. Okay, and who purchased him as a slave. From the very beginning, he was favored by the master and soon became one of the Chalgan. Chalgan means Chalgan. Chalgan means 40 chief nobles of the court. Okay, and he gradually gained power during the rule of Nasiruddin Mahmud and early 1266, and he became the Sultan after the death of Nasiruddin. Okay, so he was bought by Iltutmish as a slave, and he quickly rose and became one of the Chalgan. It means 40 chief nobles of the court, and he gradually gained power during the Nasiruddin Mahmud and early like 1266, and he became the Sultan after the death of Nasir Uddin. Okay, and as a Sultan, Ghiyasuddin Balban ruled his territory with an iron hand. It means he ruled with a very strict rule and regulation. He used to give harsh punishment for any issues. The Chalgans had become very strong during the 20-year rule of Nasiruddin and were jealous of Balban's ascent to the throne. As Balban belonged to the Chalgans group, and he rose very quickly and became the Sultan. So all the Chalgans group were jealous because of his rising to the throne and becoming so powerful there, and he was supported by also Nasiruddin in various kind of works. So as a Sultan, Ghiyasuddin Balban ruled his territory with an iron hand, and the Chalgans had become very strong during the 20-year rule of Nasiruddin and were jealous of Balban's ascent to the throne. Okay, so to curb the power of revolting Chalgans, he either killed them or banished them to far off places. So because of jealousy, and Balban knew everything, so he some of them killed them or send them to a far off places so that they won't come back. And the Mewatis, Jats and Rajputs had also gained power and revolted against the government, and he ordered the royal forces to crush them. And in his period, forget it, I will tell it in the lecture only. So uh, the Mewatis, Jats and Rajputs had also gained power and revolted against the government. He ordered the royal forces to crush them. Okay. So Ghiyasuddin Balban believed that a king is a deputy of God on earth and had unparalleled powers. His court was very disciplined and nobody could even dare to smile in his court. And he even established an intelligence department and posted spies in different parts of the country to gather information about the conspiracies against him. Okay, so he successfully established the intelligence information in his empire also, to get the information if somebody is going against the king or against him, so that he could take action against him. And he deployed the fierce Afghan troops in Dab region to crush the rebellion there. In Rohila Khand, he terrorized the rebellions by burning villages and killing the entire male population. Okay, so he deployed the fierce Afghan troops in the Doab region to crush the rebellion there. In Rohila Khand, he terrorized the rebellions by burning villages and killing the entire male population. Okay, so during the last days of Balban's reign, the governor of Bengal, Tughlaq Beg, resisted against the rule, as the king had grown old and Bengal was quite far away from Delhi. So he sent an army to fight against the rebellion leader, and the army was defeated, and finally West Bengal was reconquered only when the army was led by Balban. He then nominated his son Bughra Khan as the governor of Bengal, but the Mongols had defeated in the invasion of 1279 and 1285 AD. In that, his son lost the battle, and further he was killed in that battle. So due to the death of his son, broke him, and he died in 1287, and we can thus say that Ghiyasuddin Balban extended Iltutmish's mission and was his true successor. Okay, so in that way he died, and his the burial chamber of Ghiyasuddin Balban is famous as the Tomb of Balban, present in archaeological park of Mehrauli, Delhi. And his successor was Muizuddin Kaikabad. He was his grandson, and his son was Muhammad Khan Nasiruddin Bughra Khan. As I have said, that he was killed in Bengal by Mongols invasion. And in early life he was the son of a Turkic noble of Central Asia of Ilbari tribe. As a child he was sold in a slavery by the Mongols, and the Sultan Iltutmish bought him in 1232, and his education was extensive, and he was appointed as the personal attendant to the Sultan, and he was elected as the Prime Minister of Sultan Nasiruddin Mahmud. Later on, he married Mahmud's daughter. After the death of Sultan Nasiruddin, Balban ascended the throne by declaring himself the Sultan of Delhi, and he organized the military campaigns against the Mayor, who were the people of Mewat. Okay. So, what were the major achievement of Balban's reign? So, he was responsible for introducing Jamin Bosi, or practice of Sijda. Now we will see achievements of Balban's reign. Okay, so he was responsible for the introduced Jamin Bosi, or practice of Sijda. Under this, the people had to kneel down and touch the ground with their head while greeting the Sultan. Okay. Under this, the people had to kneel down and touch the ground with their head while greeting the Sultan. This was known as Jamin Bosi, touching the ground. He ended the influence of Corp of 40, that I have said Corp of 40, it is known as Chalgan. Okay, so he ended the influence of Corp of 40 or Chalgan. He propagated the Iranian theory of divine rights, which said that Sultan was representative of God on earth. That propagated Iranian theory of divine rights, where Sultan was the representative of God on earth. Okay, and he did not allow ulemas to interfere into the political affairs of the state, and further he did not allow Hindus entry in army or any institution or authority. Okay, did not allow Hindus in any activity. Okay, he reorganized the army of Delhi Sultanate to counter the threats of the Mongols. For this, he created a new department of military affairs known as Diwani-Urj, which was given in the charge of Urji Mumlik. Okay, he reorganized the army of Delhi Sultanate, and he built forts and established Afghan garrisons to guard the communication with Bengal. The titles of Turkish Khans for vast estates were strictly examined, and he took back the lands from which no adequate military service was received, and thus reduced the power of the nobles, and he maintained the pomp and dignity at his court. So nobility members were there in the Bengal. Okay, so he reduced the power of them also. Nobility like the Turani faction, Rani factions, these types of things will come in modern history. And Balban was succeeded by his grandson Kaikoabad, who was not competent enough to maintain the empire intact. Okay, that's it. Thank you.